Hi everybody, my name is Neha Sahani. I'm a biomedical engineer with over 10 years of experience in the corporate world, and I'm a career coach, extremely passionate about helping young adults, early to mid-career professionals, so you would say millennials and Generation Z, in their careers. Only 28% of women are represented in STEM industries. And by the way, these numbers are from the United States of America. If we look towards the global landscape, I think there are several countries where the numbers of women in STEM are far less than 28%. So it's very important to level the playing field, that women start to be represented in these industries and given an opportunity to rise to the occasion. Women leaders need to be represented in every field. It's not so much that there's a dire need of women in any one particular area of science, technology, engineering, math, or medicine. It's more that there is a clear deficit in the numbers of women leaders present in this field. You'll actually start to see that at the middle management level, there seems to be a plateau in the number of women leaders. And there are three clear reasons for why that is. Number one, lack of opportunities for growth. Number two, ineffective management, feedback loops, and areas of coaching. And number three, perhaps the most disheartening, is a pay gap. So there is a 30% on average pay gap where women in STEM are paid less than their male counterparts. As a woman in science, when I am navigating in my office space, in my industry, through clients or perhaps even internal colleagues, I realize that there might be fewer women in the senior leadership roles. So when I'm to look forward to what can I aspire to be 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, the possibilities seem few because there's less people for me to look up to, model after, and seek support from. And that is distinctly related to the lack of role models. So I've been blessed in my career over the last 10, 12 years to have really strong, solid managers, but I've also made an extra effort to build relationships with mentors in my companies as well as through the industry, ask for help, ask for feedback, and ask them for extra opportunities to continue to grow myself. That, I believe, has been the number one way for me to develop myself as a woman in this industry. People from our generation, whether it's parents, educators, policymakers, and businesses, will have to make a concerted effort to create opportunities for mentorship, coaching, and then work to allow these women to enter these STEM fields and prove their merit. The gap of women in the sciences and technology happens, I think, in two stages when you look at a generation of women as a whole. The first happens fairly early. You'll start to see in the academic stage where you'll have a wave of people choosing, or young women, young girls choosing to stay away from the sciences. Perhaps there's a story around numbers are difficult, or women are generally just inclined towards more artistic inclinations or careers, and perhaps there's a societal or a family story that's conditioned them to sort of stay away from the sciences and choose perhaps other career paths or other academic paths. The second wave that happens in the academic stage is typically around college or right after college. The panic starts to set in right after, when you're in perhaps the second half of your college tenure and you start to realize, I have really good grades, I'm doing really well, maybe I even have an internship or two, but I really don't know what is possible for me after this engineering degree, after this software development degree, after this math degree. So you'll see that if you look at numbers and trends, in the last 20 to 30 years, there's been a very steady increase, about 10 to 12% of an increase of the number of women that are entering universities in science, technology, engineering, math, and medicine. It's actually a very brilliant increase. I believe there was a recent study done where in 2018 there was 140,000 female engineers, and in the following year there was 200,000. So very sharp incline in terms of women entering into those academic majors. However, you start to see that the numbers don't really add up and don't match up when it comes to the workforce. That sharp decline and gap actually widens after university. And so my role in being a mentor to young men and women is to be able to model that behavior, to model that change and show them what's possible. This one's easy. My only recommendation to parents who want to raise young, confident girls is to let their imagination run wild. You know, science can be really fascinating if introduced in the form of a game. It's nothing more than just a study of anything you're interested in, right? So how does your TV work? How does your fridge work? Where is the sound coming from on your iPhone? How can I have a playlist on my device without actually storing these songs? How is the plane flying? Anything you look at, even your makeup for young women, is nothing but chemistry. So if you really start to just have fun with it and try to answer questions in a slightly more exciting way, science can be a lot of fun. I always like to tell a funny story when I hear somebody who really doesn't like science. Eggs are a natural emulsifier, and emulsifiers is just a big fancy word for something that holds water and powders together. So when you bake a cake and you have to whip up your flour into oil and water, the egg helps hold it all together, and when you put it in the oven, a lovely cake comes out. It sounds like a really scary word, but it's just eggs at the end of the day. Now that can make science really fun. I'm going to leave you with 2 pieces of advice. The first one is adapt an attitude of continuous learning. You are going to be the generation of digital natives, Generation Z, and you're going to see technology get obsolete at a much faster rate than all of the other generations combined. So the only way to remain fresh and agile and continuously grow in your careers is to adopt a mindset of continuous learning. I leave you with that. The second one is learn how to balance between being an expert as well as being a generalist. So pick 1 or 2 areas that you really want to dive into in science or technology perhaps, and become an expert in that area. But in doing so, also start to continuously widen your breadth of knowledge so that when you want to pivot and make a change, you're ready to do so. Thank you so much, Karishma, and the whole community for inviting me and allowing me to share my thoughts with you about how to empower young women to join the STEM industries. This has been a deep pleasure of mine. You can catch me at nehasahani.com. Thank you so much.